Hello and welcome back to Advent of Tess. Today is day 17. We're going to be working on a tessellation that I call open triangle wheels. And this is a denser pattern than we've been working with. We're going to stay at this density for the rest of Advent of Tess. Mostly in this tiling, but one or two in the other arrangement of hexagons, triangles, and rhombi as well. So let's dive in. We've got our closed hexagon twist on one side, open triangle twist on the other side, and then rhombi back on the hexagon side. So let's grab our paper and get started. I'm going to choose to put the wheel of triangles on the front side, so I'll flip over to the back to put in my closed hexagon. And hopefully after putting in many of these closed hexagons on a 16-fold grid, they are listening to you better now. I know this is a problem that many people have with putting in this first hexagon. Once I've got it set up, I'm going to grab it, twist it around. It goes shunk. And I'm going to make sure that all of these hidden spaces that I can't see are on valley folds. The shortcut for doing that, so you don't have to run your bone folder over everything, is to flip the paper over and make sure that there's no crumpling around that closed hole. So once you've got your hexagon and you've flipped over to the other side, we're going to start folding open triangle twists as densely as we possibly can. So we are not giving an extra spacing before our valley fold. We're simply putting our valley fold right along and underneath our folded mountain, and our mountain one spacing above that, which puts our target triangle right above the mountain. We're going to set up our horizontal pleat, then reach from under, opening the pleat from the central hexagon until we find our reference for the remaining pleat. With that all in place, we can lay everything down and squash our twist. From here, it's going to be easiest, well, it's going to be approximately equally difficult to go either direction, but it's going to be easiest to put in the rhombi twist on the other side if we come down and around. So I'm going to open out the pleat that was tucked underneath and do exactly the same thing. I'm going to have my valley right next to the folded mountain. Mountain one spacing further, target triangle, and I'll put it in the same orientation too. Then as I set that up, the mountain from my new pleat is going to touch the corner of the mountain from the old pleat, and I'm going to create a pleat overlap. I'm going to leave the pleat from the old triangle closed and fold straight through it. And get everything squared away. And rotate around. I'm going to repeat the exact same thing again. So I'm going to fold down on top of the pleat that's already there, cause a pleat overlap, and squash. And again. So pulling out, we always want to make sure we're not skipping pleats. So we want to make sure we're pulling out from under the triangle that we just folded. making sure that that triangle's pleat is firmly folded as we set up our new open triangle. And rotate and do it again. And one final time. This time, as you might have suspected, there's a little bit of a difference because we already have a pleat overlap out here. It's not close enough to make us have to change the ordering, but it will be a very difficult overlap to open on the other side if we don't. So how do I know that it's not close enough to cause us to change the ordering, that it won't get caught in the corner of the twist? Well, my valley for the new twist is coming straight from the center. The mountain is coming one spacing up. Here's my target triangle, and my corner is going to be at that point. And you can kind of see with the layers of the paper that I have stuff folded over that exactly reaches that point but does not exceed it. So I wouldn't have anything bound up in the twist, adding extra creases, if I let my pleat order, my overlap order this way. But I find it preferable to first set up the other overlap, then open the overlap between our sixth triangle and our first, run the new pleat through first, close it all the way, then run the second pleat through. And once both overlaps are in place, we can go ahead and squash our twist. So now we've got the wheel of open triangle wheels. Let's flip over and get the rhombi. So at each of these intersections, they're exactly the same because we reversed the pleat overlap for the final one. I'm going to have the through line of my rhombus coming from the pleat going around, and the diagonal from the pleat going out. So that puts my central diamond right here. And I can run that through line through, set up the second diagonal, and squash my twist. Rotating around. Again, either direction is fine. I'm going to do the exact same move for each of my rhombi. So I'm opening the overlap, letting the through line come through. Again, it's the one that goes around, not the one that goes out. And by coincidence, my second diagonal pleat ends up going straight to the corner of the paper. So that's another reference that I can use in my rhombi. And two more. And all is well. We've got another completion. So open triangle wheels is a fun one. We can use this in a wide variety of ways. What I would do with the one that I call open triangle wheels is we've got these hexagons in positions of six-fold rotational symmetry. And then I'd put the rhombi in positions of twofold rotational symmetry. So then our positions of threefold rotational symmetry would be these open spaces between the rhombi. And I would have another rhombus out here and then a hexagon on either side. So that's Open Triangle Wheels, day 17. I hope that you enjoyed the folding and spread the word. We've got, 8 days to go. So it's all going to be around this level of difficulty from here on out. I hope to see you for the rest, and happy folding.